A very cheerful morning to all my dear learners. I welcome you all to online learning session of Shri Baswa Public School. Today we are going to start a new chapter from your reader supplementary. It so happened, and this video is all about class 8th, third chapter, that is The Selfish Jade, written by Oscar Wilde. So, this video is going to be summary of the chapter, reading of the chapter, and the last one is explanation of the chapter. These 3 points we are going to cover in this video. So, without wasting a much time, let's start the summary of the chapter. The Selfish Jade, Oscar Wilde. Before going to read or before going to summarize the chapter, let me convey the definition of the selfish. What do you think? What is the meaning of the selfish? Yes, selfish means you are very possessive about your thoughts or your things, and selfish means you don't want to share anything with others, and selfish means you only think about your profits, your gains, your benefits, and not think about other emotions or thoughts. So, these are the definition of the selfish. Today we are going to read about a giant who was selfish and what happens to that giant and why was he selfish and how was there a change in his attitude. Now we are going to read that in today's story. So let's start with our session today with the summary of the story or chapter. And for sure I am going to say that it is going to be wonderful session because it is a very beautiful and interesting story of the book. This is a beautiful story written by Oscar Wilde. This story is about a child who had a beautiful garden in front of his house, but for the past 7 years he had been staying with his friend, so he was not in his house. The children were very attracted to the garden, and every day after the school they used to come to play there. One day the giant returned, and when he saw all the children playing there in his beautiful garden, he built a wall around the garden and shoot or sent and scold the children, and he sent them away. Once he built the wall, there was nobody coming inside, not even the change of season. The trees, the birds, the flowers and the soft grass, everything was very sad and gloomed. Then came winter season, and winter season stayed for long time because there were no children. The other season did not want to come there to enjoy that. So winter stayed there for long time. The storm, the north wind, the frost, the snow, all of them played hawk in the giant's garden. Jade kept on thinking what could be the problem and why was the winter so prolonged, and one day he heard the chirping of the birds. He looked outside and he saw that a few children had sneaked in through a hole of the wall and they were playing in his garden. Because of that, the children were playing there, the trees had bloomed again, the flowers had opened up again, the birds had started to chirping, and everything looked very glorious. But at one corner of the garden there was a tree which did not have any leaves. That tree still has snow and frost over it. There was a still window where in that corner of the garden. He saw there was a little child who wanted to get up on the tree, but he was unable because his size was very small. Seeing that, giant's heart was melted, so he went near that child and helped him to climb the tree. The moment the child climbed the tree lost the frost and snow, and it grew green and beautiful, and leaves, birds also started to chirping on it. So suddenly the atmosphere of the tree, the changes the giant saw in front of his eyes. When he saw this, the giant realized how selfish he was, and also he was very repentant about his own behavior towards those children, innocent children. Then he decided to break the wall and keep the garden open always for the children to play. But the most favorite child to whom he helped on that day, he was absent in that garden every day. Other children used to come there, but that child was absent. Every day he used to watch the children, but he couldn't find the favorite boy. One day, he also inquired about him, but he couldn't find the boy. Then year passed, and one day he saw the same child standing the same tree with his palms and feet were bruised as if it had nail marks on it. Seeing this, the giant was very furious and angry. He asked him also who had hurt him, but the child only told him that he wanted to take him away to another garden, which was as beautiful as this garden, which was actually heaven. The next moment, the giant is dead, and over his body there was white flowers. This was the story ends, but this is the story which had uses a lot of symbolism in it. Symbolism means, children, that object or living things that acts like symbols of something. Which symbolism we can see here? Let's see examples. Winter season has compared with the sadness or symbolizes sadness, and summer or spring season is going to symbolize here happiness. And what personification has been used here? Personification. Children, trees, birds, flowers act like humans here. They are acting like humans, and snow, frost, north wind, hail act like different humans' character. They are playing the character here, humans' character, like human characters. And the one more important point of the chapter, that is the wounded child. Who was the wounded child and how we get to know about it? The wounded child was Jesus Christ, came in the form of the child to transform the giant. How do we know this? Because he had marks on his palms and feet. This was a very beautiful story, as we are going to read on and explain to you. It will become more and more clear to you. So, let's start the reading of the chapter without wasting the time. Before starting the reading of the chapter, let you know more about the writer Oscar Wilde. 1854 to 1900, born on 16th October 1854 in Dublin, Ireland, an Irish poet and playwright. He has written stories which I have listed out here. The Canterville Ghost, The Selfish Giant, The Remarkable Rocket, The Portrait of Mr. W.H., etc. Movies where he has worked, which he has written. Welsh, The Picture of Dorian Gray, An Ideal Husband, and he was died on 30th November 1900 in Paris, France. So here this is the information of writer Oscar Wilde. So let's begin the chapter reading. You have to open your textbook. While reading, there is no need to watch to see on the screen. You just take the pencil and read with me in your textbook. So let's start the reading. The giant's garden was beautiful and children loved to play in it. The giant, who was selfish, built a high wall round his lovely garden. Children did not enter the garden thereafter, nor did spring and summer till the giant experienced a change of heart. Every afternoon, as they were coming from school, the children used to go and play in the giant's garden. It was a large, lovely garden with soft green grass. Here and there, over the grass, stood beautiful flowers like stars, and there were 12 peach trees that in the springtime broke out into delicate blossoms of pink and pearl, and in the autumn bore rich fruit. The birds sat on the trees and sang so sweetly that the children used to stop their games in order to listen to them. How happy we are here, they cried to each other. One day the giant came back. He had been to visit his friend the Cornish ogre. Children, underline this word. Cornish means giant in Cornwall, and the ogre was a very frightening person. Meaning of ogre is very frightening person, a cruel man. Yes. And had stayed with him for 7 years. When he arrived, he saw the children playing in the garden. What are you doing here? he cried in a very gruff voice, gruff in a sense rough voice, and the children ran away. My own garden is my own garden, said the giant. Anyone can understand that, and I will allow nobody to play in it but myself. So he built a high wall all around it and put up a notice board. Trespassers will be prosecuted. Children, trespassers in a sense, those who enters without permission. Prosecuted, punished. He was very selfish giant. The poor children had now nowhere to play. They tried to play on the road, but the road was very dusty and full of hard stones, and they did not like it. They used to wander round the high walls when their lessons were over and talk about the beautiful garden inside. How happy we were there, they said to each other. Then the spring came, and all over the country there were little blossoms and little birds. Only in the garden of the selfish giant it was still winter. The birds did not care to sing in it as they were. No children, and the trees forgot to blossom. Once a beautiful flower put the head out from the grass, but when it saw the notice board, it was so sorry for the children that it slipped back into the ground. Again, and went off to sleep. The only people who were pleased were the snow and the frost. Spring has forgotten this garden, they cried, so we will live here all the year round. The snow covered up the grass with her great white cloak. Cloak means a coat. And the frost painted all the trees silver. Then they invited the north wind to stay with them, and he came. He was wrapped in furs, and he rode all day about the garden and blew the chimney pots down. This is a delightful spot, he said. We must ask Hail on a visit. So the Hail came every day for 3 hours. He rattled on the roof of this castle till they broke most of the slates. And then he ran round and round the garden as fast as he could go. In a sense, a heavy breeze. He was dressed in grey, and his breath was like ice. I cannot understand why the spring rattled means children, underline the word rattled, banged. I cannot understand why the spring is so late in coming, said the selfish giant as he sat at the window and looked out at his cold white garden. I hope there will be a change in the weather. But the spring never came, nor the summer. The autumn gave golden fruit to every garden, but to the giant's garden she gave none. He is too selfish, she said. So it was always winter there, and the north wind, and the hail, and the frost, and the snow danced about through the trees. One morning the giant was lying awake in bed when he heard some lovely music. It sounded so sweet to his ears that he thought it must be the king's musician passing by. It was really only a little linnet in a sense, a brownish songbird found in Arrow, singing outside his window. But it was so long since he had heard a bird singing in his garden that it seemed to him to be the most beautiful music in the world. Then the hail stopped dancing over his head, and the north wind ceased, underline the word ceased, ceased roaring, and a delicious perfume came to him through the open casement, in a sense, window that opens on hinges like a door. I believe the spring has come at last, said the giant, and he jumped out of bed and looked out. So, this is the first part reading. So, now I am going to explain it. Listen it very carefully. The story starts with the description, children, of the giant's garden. The children used to come to play there after the school hours. It was very beautiful, lovely garden which has trees, birds, grass, very soft grass. Because of this, children loved that garden more than anything else. So they used to come there, play every day. But that giant to whom the garden belongs wasn't there since last 7 years. For the past 7 years, he had been staying with his friend. But one day, when he came back, he was very furious and angry because he did not like all the children playing in his garden. He just wanted his garden to be his own. He built a wall around his garden and put a notice board and said trespassers will be prosecuted. In a sense, who will enter the garden without any permission, they will be punished. The child were really scared and they stopped coming there. Obviously, there was wall and could not sneak in. Sadly, they thought about old days when they used to play happily, and now it was time when they were very sad. But what could they do? And the giant wouldn't allow them. Days passed and season also changed. From summer season to winter season came. But the winter season was very wicked. Now it knew that spring had forgotten to come into that garden because children were not playing there. So the garden was not changing into the another season. So winter throughout for staying there forever, thought of staying there forever. Winter season brought a lot of companion with it. Its own friends were who were the companions? Let me convey you. Like snow, frost, which covered all the trees and the building and the green grass. The north wind created hawk. It went round and round by creating lot of disturbance. Then they thought of calling hail. Came and it rattled, it banged, poured on the garden and the house. Days passed and the month passed, but the garden season did not change at all. Because now that children were not coming there, the spring had forgotten its part there, and so the winter thought it will stay all year round. The giant the giant is also confused and he was wondered why the spring season not coming into his garden. How long will the winter stay? And then one day he heard the chirping of noise of birds. It was a linnet bird, and at first he thought it must be a king's musician playing the instruments crossing his house, but it wasn't that. When he came near the door and looked at garden, something else he saw. Let's see in the second part, let's see in the reading of the second part, what does he see and what surprise he has got. So now let's start the reading of second part. To celebrate the return of the children, trees covered themselves with birds and blossoms. The giant was delighted to see his friends back, especially a little boy whom he loved dearly. The little boy soon disappeared, only to return much later. He saw a most wondrous sight. Through a little hole in the wall the children had crept in. Crept, underline the word crept and write the meaning, crawl. And they were sitting in the branches of the trees. In every tree that he could see, there was a little child, and the tree was so glad to have the children back again that they had covered themselves with blossoms and were waving their arms gently above the children's heads. The birds were flying about and twittering, chirping with delight, and the flowers were looking up through the green grass and laughing. It was a lovely scene. Only in one corner it was a still winter. It was the furthest corner of the garden, and in it was standing a little boy. He was so small that he could not reach up to the branches of the tree, and he was wandering all around it, crying bitterly, very badly. The poor tree was still covered with the frost and snow, and the north wind was blowing and roaring above it. Climb up, little boy, said the tree, and it bent its branches down as low as it could. But the boy was too tiny, small. And the giant's heart melted as looked out. How selfish I have been, he said. Now I know why the spring would not come here. I will put that poor little boy on the top of tree, and then I will knock down in a sense, break the wall, and my garden shall be the children's playground for ever and ever. He was really very sorry for what he has done. So he crept in a sense, crawled. He crept downstairs and opened the front door quite softly and went out into the garden. But when the children saw him, they were so afraid, that they all ran away, and the garden became winter again. Only the little boy did not run, for his eyes were so full of tears that he did not see the giant coming. And the giant stole up means came quietly without being noticed. Stole up behind him and took him gently in his hands and put him up into the tree, and the trees broke at once into blossom, and the birds came and sang on it. And the little boy stretched out his two arms and flung them round the giant's neck and kissed him. And the other children, when they saw that the giant was not wicked in a sense cruel, any longer, came running back, and with them came the spring. It is your garden now, little children, said the giant. And he took a great axe and break down the wall. And when the people were going to market at 12 o'clock, they found the giant playing with the children in the most beautiful garden they had ever seen. All day long they played, and in the evening they came to the giant to bid in a sense offer, or to say him goodbye. But where is your little companion? He said. The boy I put into the tree. The giant loved him the best because he had kissed him. We don't know, answered the children. He has gone away. You must tell him to be sure and come tomorrow, said the giant. But the children said that they did not know where he lived and had never seen him before. And the giant felt very sad. Every afternoon, when school was over, the children came and played with the giant. But the little boy whom the giant loved was never seen again. The giant was very kind to all the children, yet he longed for his little friend and often spoke of him. How I would like to see him, he used to say. Years went by, and the giant grew very old and feeble. Feeble means weak. He could not play about any more. So he sat in a huge armchair and watched the children at their games and admired in a sense praised his garden. I have many flowers, many beautiful flowers, he said, but the children are the most beautiful flowers of all. One winter morning he looked out of his window as he was dressing. He did not hate the winter now, for he knew that it was merely, underline this word, right, merely the spring asleep, and that the flowers were resting. Suddenly he rubbed his eyes in the wonder and looked. It certainly was a marvelous sight. In the furthest corner of the tree, branches were golden, and silver fruit hung down from them, and underneath it stood the little boy he had loved. Downstairs ran the giant in great joy, and out into the garden. He hasn't in a sense, the meaning of the word is hurried across the grass and came near to the child. And when he came quite close, his face grew red with anger. And he said, who had dared to wound thee? For on the palms of the child's hands were the prints of two nails, and the print of two nails were on the little feet. Who had dared to wound you? Meaning of that sentence is, who had dared to wound you, not meaning the right pronunciation. It was Old English. Who had dared to wound thee? Cried the giant. Tell me that I may take my big sword and slay him. Slay in a sense, kill. Nay, answered the child. Nay in a sense, no. But these are the wounds of love. Who art thou? Who art thou? It means, who are you? Said the giant. And a strange awe fell on him. Wonder. And he knelt before the little child. And the child smiled on the giant and said him, you let me play once in your garden. Today you shall come with me to my garden, which is paradise. Paradise, heaven. And when the children ran in that afternoon, they found the giant lying dead under the tree, all covered with white blossoms. Oscar Wilde. So, this is the completion of reading of second part. Now, let's start the explanation of the second part, which is going to be very interesting, children. So, listen it very carefully. When the giant looked out at the window, he saw a most beautiful sight that he has ever seen. There was a hole in the wall through a few children had crept in the garden, and now the trees were full of leaves. They were waving their branches to welcome the children. The flowers had bloomed. There was springtime in the garden. Everything was changed in very gloriously. But there was still a corner in the garden which had not changed, and a small child was trying to climb it, but he couldn't because of his small size. So the giant went near to him and helped him to climb the tree. But the moment the child saw the giant, the other children, they ran outside the garden, and then the garden was changed into winter. But this little boy in the garden did not run away because he was crying so badly that his eyes were filled with the tears. So he couldn't see the giant coming near to him. The giant realized that because he had stopped children playing in the garden, that summer never came to his garden, and therefore there was only winter season all year around. Once he realized his mistake, he approached that little boy, cried. He softly picked up the boy and made up him to sit on the tree. The boy was so happy that he kissed the giant. This melted the heart of Giant and realized his mistake and repented for his mistake. By seeing this scene, the children understand that the giant is no more cruel. He has changed and now he will never harm them. So all the children came back to his garden. The spring was there again. The giant decided to break that wall, and he took an axe and knocked down the wall, break down the wall. When it was evening time, all the children went back their home. And now this was the routine of every day in the giant's garden. The passers-by also felt the changes in the attitude of the giant, and they were also happy because of these children. But the giant could not find his favorite child who had kissed him. Every day he waited for him, but he never returned, and nobody knows about him. Like this, many years passed and the giant became old. After that, winter season also came, but not stayed for long time. One day, when the giant looked at window, he saw the same boy under the same tree. He rushed downstairs into the garden. He was very saddened by seeing the child because he has bruised in his palms and feet as if somebody had nailed him there. The giant was really angry to see this, and he asked him, but he did not reply for that question. Instead of replying for that question, he told him that he had come to take him away to the new garden. After that, at evening, when children came to the garden, they saw the giant lying dead under the tree, but his body was covered with the white flowers. Who was that boy? He has done to him what he has done to him. Yes, children, this boy was Jesus Christ. He had come there to bless the giant, because now the giant was changed person, and he had come there to take this giant to his paradise, to his heaven. One more garden which was as beautiful as the giant's garden. The white flowers which were covered the body of the giant were blessings of the Lord Christ. Now children, this is the complete explanation of the chapter. I hope you all have understood it. If you haven't, then you can call me, or else you can send me a message. I'll reply it very soon. Now what moral we have learnt from this lesson, which is very important to know about it. See children, we learned from this lesson to not be selfish, to not think only about ourselves. And we learned from this lesson that, from the character of giant, that we should not be so cruel with others. We have to accept the quality of the kind-hearted and thoughtfulness. And we know that sharing is good habit. So whatever we have to share with the others. And one more thing we learned from this lesson, that is admitting the mistakes, admitting the wrong things, whatever we have done, and correcting it. These are the morals which we learned from this lesson. I hope you all have understood it.